name is Robin, and first let me express my sincerest condolences to the Molland family, to the Wiggins family, and Mary and Will. My husband Mark and I were fortunate enough to count Joey as one of our friends. We are also lucky to call one of Joey's dearest friends, Phil Solem, a friend. You may know Phil as a musician, producer, songwriter, collaborator, recording artist, known for being one half of the Rembrandts, as well as his enduring solo career. Phil is heartbroken at this significant loss and wishes he could be here in person. He wrote the following tribute and sent it to me from his home in Nashville to read for you and for his friend Joey. Joey and I met on stage during the closing jam at an annual Willie's guitar party at the Caboose in Minneapolis in the late 90s. We'd never met, but we stood nearly face to face and began a musical conversation about the blues and rock and roll, trading solos back and forth as if we'd been guided into place by destiny. We looked deeply into each other's eyes. It was like a question and answer game, and we took turns asking and telling, an introduction with no words, but our souls pouring out signals through our hearts, to our fingers, into our guitars. The frequencies we shared during that interlude felt like some kind of unique pact between us, and the future would see us again 10 years later on that same stage, but this time as a duo, and we'd gotten together in advance at the request of our mutual friend Willie himself, Nate Wesker, to find some common songs to sing and play. The vibes we had between us made me feel like he was my big brother from another mother. That short performance set the tone for what we would become when Joey introduced me to his agent, Jeff Miller, who immediately wanted to book shows for us. We needed a name, so we put our two band names together and ran them through an app that makes anagrams. Among the words in the list, and there were a lot, we laughed so hard at the results, but one stuck out among them all, the Drift Benders. Actually, the Ram Bang Drift Benders, but we used the shortened version because, as Joe pointed out, a drift was a type of hammer his dad, Joseph Charles Molland I, used in his blacksmith work. And so we were on a sort of a permanent bender, so we decided to make it one word. After that, we set out for various gigs that would pop up. Jeff had booked for us a tour of the UK, a 2-week run, but when it came time to go, we had trouble getting my visa sorted and couldn't make it happen in time. Meanwhile, Joey had committed to being a counselor for the rock and roll fantasy camp at Abbey Road, where Jeff had already signed in as a camper. So they invited me along to be a counselor as well. That turned out to be more of an adventure than I think any of us expected. After a week working with the camper bands we were responsible for, we ended up in Liverpool to play at the Cavern Club to show off the results. When that was over, the three of us stayed a few extra days, and Joey showed us all his old hangouts, which was the greatest thing imaginable. We even found his childhood home, and lo and behold, after some interrogation by the lady who lived there, we were invited inside. Joey was ecstatic, pointing out details and telling funny family stories. As we were leaving, she said we should go up the road and call on Joey's old friend Lou Rosenthal from the Mersey Beats. Lou had beer, and we had such a good time visiting. It was, as Joe would say, first rate. I could go on and on regaling stories of that trip, but as we were there, Joey talked of his dream project to one day make a record of Chuck Berry songs. And that we finally did. And it was, again, just so much fun spending a couple of weeks just going to town doing our own interpretations of Chuck's great work. Jeff got us together in Nashville at my house, and we cut live tracks together and added a few overdubs as we went. Joe said he felt like it was his Sun Records experience, the closest he'd gotten to that kind of creative thing, because we just blasted through the material with no preconceived ideas about arrangements or technicalities. I felt so honored that he'd said that. Another year had gone by. We were looking forward to adding 3 more songs, so he was planning on coming back down when he fell ill. Prior to that, we got to see him play at the Ryman, which was originally the Grand Ole Opry, and that was such a thrill. Before the show, we had lunch, at which point we settled on a name for our three-piece band name for the project, the Charlesbury Boys. That night after the show was the last time I saw Joe, but he left me with a gift as we man-hugged farewell before he stepped onto the bus, a piece of his soul that I'll carry in my heart, and oh, am I feeling it now? And Phil signs off, I love you, Joey. Thank you.